So I have a tweet here called Private Parts. Private Parts. It has a sister tweet called Drama Clubbed. Drama Clubbed. So I'll read both and then we will break it down. Private Parts. Has the extensive, accelerating erosion of privacy in America and other high-tech free market countries facilitated the increasingly theatrical nature of politics, business, and science? Perhaps we're becoming desensitized to blackmail, corruption, and adultery. I continue on here with another tweet. It's the same tweet essentially, but it's a little different. It's called Drama Clubbed. Drama Clubbed. Does the extensive, accelerating erosion of privacy in the USA and other high-technology countries help? Does the accelerating erosion of privacy help to facilitate the ever-theatrical nature of politics, business, and science? Perhaps we've adapted to a stage of exhibition, blackmail, adultery, and corruption. So if you live in America and if you are involved in the technological world, the online world of Facebook and Twitter and all these different places, you might be involved in PayPal, or you might have an Amazon account. You might have all these different things. These people, these companies have a lot of your data, your metadata. Your privacy is no longer, like, especially now that we know the NSA spies, and through Apple phones you can get it, and Google with their Android. Privacy has become a true commodity that's almost very, very, very difficult to get as we keep on going further and further into the information age. So I say here, of course, does the erosion of privacy facilitate the theatrics of politics, business, and science? Because in the world of political theater, of course, I say politics is a post-truth realm. In the realm of political theater, and then you have business theater as well. You have business theater and scientific theater. Because the scientists, a lot of times, again, we are going by what scientists say. We are not able to actually judge the merits of their claims based on evidence, because the evidence is above our understanding. It's above, if we're not scientists ourselves, we will not be able to dissect and explain what they're saying. So it becomes more theatrical. And so it's natural when you have things like the climate strike, the climate change, I call it the modern religion of global warming, when people take political, when it becomes politicized, people take sides on the scientific issue based on the theatrics, the politics of it all. They take sides based on the politics. If you're a Democrat, well, you probably believe in climate change. If you're a Republican, you, well, probably don't. And what I'm saying with that is, I'm not saying Republicans don't believe the climate changes or anything else, the inverse, whatever it might be. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, like, there is this world of, climate skepticism, where people look at the situation and go, well, yeah, the climate changes, but are we destroying the world, or do we need to put on this high level? Do we need to turn up the environmentalism to 10 right now, or otherwise it's too late? That's people that are skeptics are asking those questions. Alarmists, which are, of course, the Democrats. I know I switched sides here as left, right? The Democrats, of course, they're the alarmists. They're using this as a political wedge issue to control people, just like reparations, to control people. They're using children. They're abusing children. And they're brainwashing our kids. Of course, we are being brainwashed every minute of every day by ourselves, our family, our friends, the media, and others. Of course, I talked about how we get our opinions assigned earlier in the video. But, basically you have these two schools of thought. And the scientists there are scientists that believe that it's a big issue, and there are ones that don't. So it's not like it's like anti-intellectual to be a climate skeptic. But that's how it's presented. You know, usually they say you're anti-science. You're anti-science if you don't believe in catastrophic anthropogenic global warming, where we have such a big ego, we think that we are, as mankind, humankind, responsible for all this stuff. Whereas the evidence doesn't really show that quite. If you look at the actual rate of CO2 and where it was, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, there's not really much evidence for that. But again, do your research. Definitely do your research on that. So I say, we are losing our privacy, and I think it's almost like nobody cares anymore. It's like it doesn't matter now. We don't have our privacy, so it's all theater. It doesn't matter anymore. We just go with what feels good, what looks good, because we don't really have the control to pull back and escape the the erosion, the loss of our privacy. It's over. The game's already over. Like, we've lost it. If you're using Google, if you're using Facebook, like, they have all this information on you. They have metadata. They have all these ways. And Apple, they have your healthcare data. Facebook wanted your healthcare data. This is a different level. We're on a different level now, where it's all theatrical. It's all like, we're not at the low level, the low level of machine coding, and in the programming world, you know what I'm talking about. We're now at these high level applications that just do it theatrically. They do the big they do the big movements. They don't do the little precise things that have to happen, but it's just these large movements, these big movements. I know that's very ineloquent, but that's one way to frame that. So we're becoming desensitized to blackmail because we can be so easily blackmailed that it's like, oh, someone got blackmailed, politician. Like, if you got a copy of any of our chats, any of our emails, any of our instant messages, texts, anything, you could easily, end somebody's career and end somebody's marriage if you did it right. They wouldn't even have to do anything wrong. You could just frame it a certain way, and all of a sudden, you could be blackmailed into doing things. There's corruption, adultery. Like, there's so much corruption everywhere, all sides, in politics and science and business. There's so much corruption going on that it's kind of accepted. So we're just like, oh yeah, adultery. Of course, those with power, absolute power, corrupts absolutely, and that includes your moral core. It can get corrupted just like a computer. We talked a lot about AI and replacing people with machines. Well, we're already corruptible. There's already bit rot in some of the moral cores of people. So, yeah, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Exhibition, blackmail, adultery, and corruption. We're just desensitized. We've adapted to the stage in Drama Club. I say it's a stage. I frame it that way. Because with no privacy, we just feel like, well, what else are we going to do? It's theatrical. It's all a show. It's more about the show than the actual nuts and bolts of what's happening. We know that people speak directionally, and there's hyperbole, and politics is post-truth, and then people take a postmodern frame, like in this video. So perhaps we have. We're used to it. We've gotten used to it.